The state legislature and Governor Cuomo have come to a tentative agreement on a $140 billion state budget. The legislation was filed Friday night in time for the fiscal year starting on Tuesday. Legislators expect to vote on the budget on Monday. The budget proposes a $1.5 billion property tax relief plan and 20% property tax credit for manufacturers. It also decreases income tax for manufacturers to 0% starting this year and reforms certain Common Core standards. The budget also cracks down on young drivers texting while driving, imposing a 4-month suspension on the first offense and a 1-year suspension for a second offense. If passed, this will apply to all 16 and 17-year-olds with junior licenses and to any new drivers 18 years or older within the first 6 months of receiving a probationary license. Alex Rusilla talks to drivers to see what they think about the governor's new proposal.
Alana Spector is a freshman at Jamesville DeWitt High School. She's too young to drive, but she has some friends who are old enough and says they typically keep their phones by their side when they're behind the wheel.
Most of my friends just kind of, like, if they get a text, they just look at it and then they wait till they pull over to answer it.
While many of Alana's friends will wait, thousands of deaths every year are a result of teens driving while distracted. Dora Branch teaches new drivers every day at Branch's driving school in Syracuse and sees that teens have a lot of room to grow.
They've done studies on cognition of 16-year-old brains, 17-year-old brains, so they're not fully developed at that point. So I don't think they understand the long-term consequences and ramifications behind what they do.
Branch supports Governor Cuomo's proposal to enact harsher penalties on young drivers caught texting behind the wheel.
If it's implemented and it's beneficial to decrease those numbers, absolutely, it's a good thing.
I think suspending their license, if they see that, they might be like, be a little less likely to want to get on their phones and text and maybe just wait.
Some drivers say the governor's proposal should go even further to include drivers of all ages.
Responsibility shouldn't just be instilled in the young people. It's important to kind of have that instilled in everyone, doesn't matter what age.
It should be across the board. There's no reason for anybody to be texting while they're driving and not paying attention to what's going on.
Reporting from Syracuse, I'm Alex Rusilla.
Lawmakers are expected to discuss the bill today and then they'll vote tomorrow. Ithaca Mayor Svante Myrick will be on NBC's Meet the Press this morning. He's been credited with a $10 million down revitalization project and helping homelessness with long-term affordable housing. You can watch Meet the Press right here on NBC3. It's at 10 o'clock right after our local news. A man is in critical condition after a stabbing in a Syracuse nightclub early Saturday morning. Police say 26-year-old Aaron Hudson was in Vibez nightclub on East Fayette Street around 3 a.m. when he was stabbed multiple times during a fight. Bouncers escorted him outside and a friend took him to the hospital. Police have no information right now on a possible suspect. Anyone who saw what happened in the club is asked to call Syracuse police. The search continues to find a bone marrow match for a North County teenager fighting acute lymphocytic leukemia. 14-year-old Allison Stoner was diagnosed with cancer when she was just over a year old. Since then, she's gone through 2 remissions but relapsed last fall. Yesterday, a bone marrow donor drive was held at the Nedrow Fire Department in honor of Allison to help her and other children with blood diseases find a match. Because of Allison's Native American ancestry, the donor program is looking for people who share her ancestry so they're more likely to find a match. Fans of Brad Paisley wasted no time getting their hands on some tickets. Several were up bright and early yesterday morning to buy tickets for the Country Crooners show at the State Fair Grandstand. The tickets went on sale at 9 a.m. Saturday, and the 40 people who lined up early to get the best seats quickly grabbed their spots. Paisley will be the opening act at the Grandstand on August 21st. It is now 9:08 and CNY Central is covering news across America this morning. The search continues for the missing 8 days after a deadly mudslide devastated a tiny community in Washington state. The official death toll rose by 1 to 18, but the number of missing and unaccounted for has dropped from 90 down to 30. Heavy rain this weekend could cause flash floods in the area, making the search even more dangerous. The first funeral for the mudslide victims will be held next week. Newly released security video shows the exact moment A magnitude 5.1 earthquake rattled Southern California Friday night. The earthquake was centered 25 miles south of Los Angeles. This is video from an ice cream parlor in Brea, which is located in Orange County. As you can see, customers quickly took cover when the quake struck. Thankfully, no injuries have been reported. The area has experienced more than 100 aftershocks since last night's quake, the largest being a magnitude 4.1, which struck yesterday afternoon. Fans of the University of Arizona took to the streets of Tucson last night, and police responded in riot gear. After their team lost in the NCAA tournament, crowds poured out of bars and restaurants near the university. The gathering was peaceful at first, but then fans started throwing objects at police, like cans, bottles, and even fireworks. Tucson police responded with pepper balls and pepper canisters. 15 people were arrested. 3 had minor injuries. The sign-up deadline is looming for the Affordable Care Act. Secretary of Health and Human Services Kathleen Sebelius was at a church in Miami yesterday to address consumers who came to sign up for insurance before Monday's deadline. More than 6 million Americans have now signed up. That's fewer than the administration's original goal of 7 million, but it reflects a surge in recent weeks as technical glitches in the healthcare.gov website have been resolved. Well, we're just getting started on Weekend Today in Central New York.